What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome back. We are back. Wade Zanketta, Connor O'Neill here. We are not
quite done
yet. Not
Not quite.
done. We've got some OUA stuff to get to. We have another OUA preview coming up this week. The Western Mustangs are the Yates Cup champions, and now they get to host the SaintFX X-Men at home at TD Waterhouse in London. So we're going to be teeing that one up today.
And when you look at the national semifinal, the OUA side, Western is looking to keep their season going. They are one win away from a Vanier Cup showdown on December 4th. And standing in their way, like you said, is SaintFX, and they are led by a high-powered offense. So let's talk about that for a little bit here, Connor. Silas Fagnan, fourth in the country in yards per game with just under 260.
Yeah, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He is up for a Heck Crichton Award as well. What can't this guy do? I mean, he fires the ball all over the field, but what's more impressive about what he does with his arm is what X does on the ground, because their ground game is equally as impressive. I won't spoil anything right now because we are talking about Silas Fagnan, so I don't want to take any of that spotlight away from him. But he's patient. He goes through those reads really well. Lately in the playoffs, he's been finding his brother Isaac Fagnan a lot. They have a bunch of very talented wide receivers on that X-Men roster. I mean, Isaac Fagnan, who I just mentioned, Cormier, and Zachary Kareem as well. So a bunch of weapons all over the field for Fagnan to throw to. And it's really benefited, the X offense as a whole, because now when we talk about their ground game, Malcolm Bussey has really opened a lot of things up for this offense. He's third in the nation in rush yards with just over 660, 2 touchdowns. But through the playoffs, we've been saying it has been ride the bus for the X-Men.
And comparing this to Western's defense, which suffocated Queens last week in the Yates Cup, I think this matches up well for the Mustangs. SaintFX is going to come in. They're going to try and run the ball and establish that ground game and then open it up from there. And I think Western has a good shot with that defensive front of Austin Ford Miller, Deontay Knight, and the gang to stop this one in its tracks.
I really do as well. I mean, when we look at what X does well versus what Queens did well versus what Western did to Queens in that game, that's a lot of comparing there. But, use your imaginations here. So X likes to run the ball and use the ball to open up the pass game. Wow, what did Queens do this year? They like to use Rashid Tucker to open up their pass game. So I think that X does it, a little bit more. I don't want to say more effectively, but I guess they do it a little bit more effectively. They let Fagnan throw the ball a little bit more than Keenan is going to throw the ball. And we talked about this on the Thursday show, right? Like X just kind of has that trust in Fagnan to put the ball downfield because of what he's done on tape this season. So I do think X is going to throw the ball a little bit more in this game. I think that is going to be the difference maker. But like we talked about on Thursday, Rory Kelly on the back end for those Western Mustangs is really going to help out.
And let's talk about Western's offense going against this X-Men defense, because SaintFX, I mean, they are up there in total yards per game. They are third in the country for fewest yards allowed, just behind Western and Acadia, who they beat in the AUS semifinal. But this X team has shown cracks in the armor. And that started with Acadia, who was able to rush for around 200 yards on them. I think that bodes well for Western because everyone across the country has seen how Keon Edwards, Trey Humes, and the gang attack downhill aggressively. And that's going to force SaintFX to bring a lot of guys into the box and stop them, leaving room for guys like Savon Magne-Jones, Brett Ellerman, and Evan Hillocks to take advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the Yates Cup, it was the Keon Edwards show, right? Like 150 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, but we cannot discount anybody else on this team, especially Trey Humes, who still with 18 carries had around 70 yards. He didn't find the end zone, but he didn't need to because his best friend Keon Edwards found it 3 times for the Mustangs. I mean, those dudes don't care who's scoring. They just care that they are scoring. I mean, I feel like that's the whole Western mentality, really. Nobody cares who's scoring. They just want to score the ball and win the games. But I think this week, it's going to provide a unique opportunity. We talked about it again, like we're going to keep coming back to the Thursday show, but we did talk about this on the Thursday show. We both feel that Brett Ellerman is going to have a day because once you start selling out for this Western run game, like you're going to have to, that's just a fact of this game. Western's going to run the ball and you're going to need to stop it. And once you start overplaying that run, guess who's getting hit deep over the middle? Brett Ellerman or Savon Magne-Jones or even Justin Nixon. We can't leave him out because he did have a game this year where he went off for a few yards and a touchdown as well.
And if you want to catch that Thursday show that Connor's talking about, go back and check it out on Canadian Football Perspective. It's all Canadian, where Connor and I do our weekly shows. But if you guys want to catch this game, make sure you check out TD Waterhouse Stadium if you can be there. It's going to be matched up against two top defenses, two top offenses. It's a national semifinal. What else could you want on the line in this one? And as always, if you want to check out Western stats, schedule, and etc., go to OUA.ca. And if you want to check out any of their previous games, OUA.tv. It's free to sign up. You get every game live and on demand.
And of course, if you're not sick of us yet, you can catch us over at CF Perspective on Twitter and Instagram. Wade is going to be at the UTEC Bowl in Montreal, braving the snow to get some content there. So follow along with him at Wade Zank. You can follow me. I'm not doing anything this weekend, but you can follow me at Connor R. O'Neill. Maybe I'll live tweet from the offices of the dungeon I'll be in, but that's it for us for now. Hopefully we'll be talking more OUA football as the Western Mustangs possibly could be in the Vanier Cup 2 weeks from now.